Welcome everybody to this free mini anxiety course. My name is Leanne Asprey. I'm a cognitive behavioural therapist and coach, and I am here to give you a different perspective on anxiety. Now, so many courses very much focus on the symptoms of anxiety, but I am a massive believer that if we only deal with the symptoms, we do not help somebody to move forward. And anxiety is a symptom. It's a symptom of an underlying cause. Now, I am a survivor of anxiety myself, and for many years I focused on my symptoms. All that did was help me to manage the way I was feeling. It did not help me to overcome it. And it wasn't until I started to understand my anxiety and understand what was causing it and taking action with that information that my life really started to change. So this video series is going to help to give you a different perspective on anxiety and really help you. Now, not just anxiety, because self-esteem, self-worth and self-confidence also all play a very important part in this. So you will be able to understand all that as well. So a little bit about me. So I became a cognitive behavioural therapist because I use cognitive behavioural therapy techniques on myself to help myself to overcome anxiety. So I started to do a lot of reading and researching and implementing the things that I was learning, and it really helped me in my everyday life. And I am who I am today, anxiety free, because of that. And it was because of that that I then had to train in it, because I thought I need to train in this so I can help other people to do the same. Now, cognitive behavioural therapy is a therapy, but the techniques that we use in CBT can be so helpful for people, and that is what I am all about. I like to share them outside of the therapy room. So a little bit about who I am. So my background, the reason I experienced a lot of problems with my own mental health is because I was raised by a very abusive father, and every day was like walking on eggshells in my childhood. My dad was very violent towards my mother, so I witnessed a lot of domestic violence, and then that violence turned towards us children as we got older, and he kind of punished us for the smallest of things, and criticised us a lot. Life was very, very difficult. And at the age of 12, I was taken into care after arriving at school with a facial injury that my dad had caused to me. So I was taken away from my siblings and my mother, and it was very, very, very difficult, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, like every child, you plod on, you get on with it. And it's not until I got to adulthood where I really started to kind of question why I was feeling like I was. I was, waking up anxious every day and constantly worrying about what people thought of me, avoiding things all the time, never feeling like I was ever good enough. And when I did kind of put myself forward to do something good, I would end up kind of going into self-destruct mode and preventing myself from achieving it, because I had this deep sense that I just wasn't good enough for it. I ended up being in relationships and allowing people to treat me really badly, thinking that this is kind of all that I'm worthy of. Life was very difficult. Now, 95% of me kind of convince myself that this is just who I am. I'm naturally this way. There's nothing I can do about it. But there was always this 5% of me that just wanted so much more and just had this feeling that there was so much more. So I really started to go on this journey to understand why I was feeling like I was. So of course, I was aware that I'd had a very difficult childhood, but I had no idea how that was impacting me, and what I could do about it. So I really started to study, and I went to university to do psychology. And then, although that was very helpful in helping me to understand a lot, it didn't actually help me to be able to make sense of why I was behaving like I was, why I was thinking like I was. and why I was feeling like I was. And then I came across CBT because I worked in a high school and a lot of the students were having it and they were telling me about it, and I started to think, oh, this sounds really interesting. So I started to read about it and it all made sense to me, and I got really obsessed with it to the point where I was reading loads, and it just made sense. Everything about it, the research into it, the way I was feeling, the way I was behaving, things that I was doing, I was thinking, this is the one thing that's going to be able to help me. So I started to implement it in my life, and it really opened my eyes to how my brain was functioning because of my experiences, and it was so fascinating. So I realized that my brain had been lying to me for many, many years, which I'm going to help you to understand in this video series. But the brain is fascinating. So because I then started to implement it, I started to see really positive changes in my life. And when I saw them, I decided I have to train in this. I need to help other people to understand what I now understand. And I'm sure you're going to find it very, very helpful.